many of you guys know, athletes today are not exactly what they used to be. Now, what do I mean by that? Sure, we may have better, more home runs, more broken records out the door, and more gold medals than we ever have before. But athletes don't have the character that they used to. Athletes today have lowered their standards, and they decided that using anabolic steroids would be a better way to win. So today, I'm going to go over a few things. First of all, why players even use anabolic steroids or other performance-enhancing drugs, followed by how coaches and trainers overlook it and act like it's no big deal, and then followed by what we can do to help curb this. So first of all, a reason that anabolic steroids should not be allowed in professional sports is, I mean, they're bad for your health. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. According to Rick Collins and Kelly Stimulus, steroids can cause potential heart problems, including high blood pressure, stroke, and even the enlargement of your left ventricle. Anabolic steroids have also been proven to cause liver cancer, give liver tumors, and even rupture your tendons. Not all steroids will stunt your growth, but most of them will. So if you're wondering which steroids will, basically the steroids that give the better results are most likely to give to stunt your growth. Unfortunately, most of these players are in it for the money. I mean, you go back to what the Bible says in 1 Timothy 6:10, it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." And that's exactly what it is. Players today they'd rather put standards down, and they're just in it for the money. The more home runs they get, the more their paycheck's going to be. Using steroids is also a chain reaction. So when someone starts hitting home runs, when someone has a good natural ability, and then they're competing with people that are just using steroids to get up to their natural ability, and they can't beat their records, then they're going to start using steroids too to win. Now, a good reason why we should just get rid of steroids is, George Bush said it himself, steroids harm our bodies, they're bad for sports, they're bad for athletes, and they're a huge influence on America's youth today. So, right here, Brandon, you want to step up for a minute? Alright, who wants to tell me what he's wearing?
Red Sox jersey.
That's right. Now turn around. Now what's that on the back?
Ramirez.
That's a name, right?
Right.
So if it wasn't such a big deal, if the youth, you can turn back around. If the youth didn't look up to pro sports so much, then why do manufacturers make a fortune on jerseys and hats? You can go ahead and sit down. Thank you. Another reason is steroids have been illegal in the United States since the Anabolic Steroids Act of 1990. So one, they were damaging themselves. Two, they're influencing kids to do wrong things, and then three, it's against the law. I mean, they're not supposed to do it. As mentioned earlier, people do whatever they want to get their hands on money, but this isn't only the players. Collins explained a theory that the NFL, NBA, and MLB maybe want steroids in sports. It sounds a little crazy, but if you think about it, they have enough resources and money to test every player before every game, but they choose not to. If they have enough money to pay a single player, I don't know, $50 million for a 4-year contract, then they definitely have enough money to test every player before every game. Now, what is that? I mean, what is doing that every game going to help? Well, it would help stop them from cheating. For instance, according to reporter Reed Albergotti, after the Packers' 9th playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles, the team's head trainer gave a day's notice to their team's starting center, Scott Wells, that he'd be tested, and even told him to be ready between 10 and 2. So first of all, he gave him a heads up, and the NFL doesn't test on game days because it's supposedly causes confusion and because they're traveling, and it just causes a bunch of chaos. So back to the what makes the difference if you test on game days. If an NFL player has a game on Sunday and they decide that they want to use steroids, they could just take like an endurance EPO on Saturday night, knowing that it'll be out of their system by Monday morning. So if professional sports really meant business, like they say they do, then they would test before every game. Like I said, if they can afford to pay $50 million for one player, they can definitely afford this. So in conclusion, if they really want to get rid of steroids, they just got to test them before every game.
Yeah.